Most people in their 20s think wealth comes from a job, or from a promotion, or from working harder than everyone else. That belief alone explains why most of them won't build meaningful wealth. Because income is not the primary limiter in your 20s. Leverage over skills, information, networks, optionality, and leverage is almost never built at work. It's built outside of work, quietly, through activities that look harmless, unproductive, or irrelevant at first. What we call hobbies. But not all hobbies are equal. Most hobbies consume money. Some consume time. A few, very few, quietly compound wealth. Today, we're examining 5 little-known hobbies that have an outsized impact on wealth accumulation in your 20s. Not because they make you rich overnight, but because they rewire how opportunity, skill, and leverage accumulate. And those opportunities rarely look obvious. It's about learning how deals work. A deal is simply value exchanged under constraints. Most people only ever experience deals as consumers. They buy products, they accept salaries, they sign contracts they didn't design. People who build wealth early tend to obsess over deals long before they have money. They analyze business acquisitions, real estate transactions, licensing agreements, revenue, splits, partnerships, even when they can't participate. They read term sheets, they reverse engineer exits, they break down failures. This builds something critical: economic literacy. You start seeing how risk is priced, how leverage is embedded, how power shifts based on structure. This hobby trains you to recognize asymmetric opportunities, situations where upside massively outweighs downside. Your 20s give you something older people don't have: low downside. You can analyze hundreds of deals without touching money, without risk, without consequences. By the time capital appears, your judgment is already calibrated. That's not luck. That's preparation, disguised as a hobby. This one sounds boring. That's why it works. Technical writing is the ability to explain complex ideas clearly, structure information, eliminate ambiguity. Not storytelling, not marketing copy, not social media posts. This is about documentation, white papers, system explanations, internal memos. Every industry with high compensation shares one trait: complexity. And complexity creates a permanent shortage of people who can explain things simply. Those people become indispensable, promoted, trusted. They gain leverage without needing charisma. Engineers who write well get pulled into strategy. Finance professionals who explain clearly get client trust. Operators who document systems get authority. Because writing clarifies thinking, exposes gaps, creates artifacts. Artifacts scale. Conversations don't. Why this works in your 20s: most people avoid writing because it exposes confusion. If you start early, your thinking sharpens faster, your reputation grows quietly, your value becomes portable. Technical writing turns knowledge into transferable leverage. That's wealth-adjacent behavior. Most people associate negotiation with conflict, or dominance, or manipulation. That misunderstanding keeps them bad at it. Negotiation is simply the allocation of limited resources under uncertainty. And it happens constantly. Salaries, deadlines, responsibilities, scope, equity, access. People who avoid negotiation pay a lifelong tax. People who practice it early, privately, change their trajectory. This doesn't mean arguing with strangers. It means role-playing scenarios, analyzing transcripts, studying incentives, deconstructing outcomes. You learn when to push, when to pause, when silence works, when clarity wins. Negotiation is not aggression. It's structure awareness. In your 20s, stakes are lower, reputations are flexible, errors are cheap. That's when you learn. Negotiation skill increases. Lifetime earnings deal quality risk control. It doesn't just make you richer, it makes you harder to exploit. Most people chase productivity hacks, calendars, apps, routines. That's not system building. System building is about designing repeatable processes, decision filters, fallback structures. Instead of asking, "What should I do today?" you ask, "What system makes the right decision inevitable?" Wealth is rarely built through effort alone. It's built through structures that work when you don't. Examples: automated saving systems, lead pipelines, skill development, loops, feedback mechanisms. People who build systems early stop relying on motivation. They reduce friction. They reduce error. They reduce dependence on willpower. That's design. Why this works in your 20s? You're still flexible. You can redesign habits, rebuild workflows, test structures. Later, life becomes rigid. Systems built early become invisible advantages. They don't make headlines. They quietly outperform chaos. This is the most misunderstood one. Networking is not. Events, business cards, small talk, high signal. Networking is about identifying people with leverage, understanding what they value, becoming useful before being visible. Wealth tends to flow through closed networks, not open platforms. People who access those networks early don't do it loudly. They ask precise questions, offer specific help, follow through. They build reputation through reliability, not presence. This is uncomfortable for most people, which is why it works. You're not expected to know everything, but curiosity is tolerated. If you show seriousness, preparation, respect for time, doors open quietly. Networks compound faster than capital, but only if built intentionally. These hobbies share something rare. They don't feel rewarding immediately. They don't generate dopamine. They don't signal status. They don't impress strangers. They build, leverage clarity, optionality. They operate below visibility. That's why they're overlooked. Most people in their 20s optimize for enjoyment, expression, validation. Wealth compounds through structure, skill, positioning. Your 20s are not about finding yourself. They're about building leverage before responsibility arrives. The hobbies that do this best look boring, feel slow, attract few peers, which is exactly why they work. Because by the time outcomes become visible, the systems are already in place. And from the outside, it looks like luck.